How's it going, everybody? I'm gonna make a quick video just to show off my current watch collection. This is a good idea for anybody who has a decent sized collection and wants to keep a video for proof, for insurance purposes or anything like that. So, and I figured I would show it off. Everyone's making videos of their watch collection, so I figured I would take an opportunity to show off some of mine. I'll start over here with this. This is the Oceanus, and it's one of my favorite watches. Pretty much does everything that you could ever need in a watch. Solar powered, time zones, all the different time zones are around. Like no matter where you are in the world, you just pull it out. Like I'll go ahead and show you, and see it shows I'm pointing over here. Let's see how far I can zoom in, so maybe you could see. But it's set to NYC for New York City, and then you just turn the crown to point the second hand at the city that you're in. So while you're in that city, you just point it, and then you set it, and see it does it itself. So, and the date moves. See, it's really cool. And then you can go back to where you were. So I'm going to go back to New York City, and then the time will go back. And then my date goes back. This is a fantastic watch. It's titanium. It's super light. When I first got it and put it on, I was like, wow, it feels kind of cheap, But then you're like, oh, this isn't cheap. It's just titanium, And it conforms really good to the wrist. So the only negative is, when you lay it down, it's gonna have a kind of like a G-Shock. When you lay it down, it's kind of got that where the lugs extend out, but for me it was a perfect fit. Here is my G-Shock mod. It's got dust on it. This is an actual AliExpress mod that I did myself thanks to Just One More Watch, the channel with Jody. He showed off a mod that he did, and I really like the steel. I didn't want to pay that much for a G-Shock steel. At the time, they were like way overpriced. They were like $500-600 for, it just, I don't know. I couldn't justify it. And I got the experience of it with this. I wish I went with the titanium mod. I think they have the titanium ones now. It would have made it a little lighter because this is pretty heavy. But I'll put it on real quick. Show you how it looks. But I mean, it's not too bad. It's just when I'm used to this this other G-Shock over here. This one has the combi bracelet. It's much more light. Next up, we got the Jeanneau Ocean Rover. Cool story about this is I contacted the guys back when this first came out. This was the very first model, and they were doing reviews where if you did a YouTube review of the watch, they would discount it. So I got a huge discount on this watch, and I'm so thankful I did. I mean, it's a great watch. The winding, everything, it's on par with some of the elites up there. The glide lock. It's great. I mean, it's not as smooth as a Rolex, I'd assume. I mean, I've not spent much time with a real Submariner, but this gave me a really good feel of a vintage sub, and I discovered that I really don't like the way they feel. I like my watches a little loose. After wearing this, because I mean, they said these are 1 for 1. I find that the crown digs into my top of my wrist right here, especially if I'm doing a lot of physical activity. But listen to this bezel. That bezel is fantastic. We'll go all the way back around. I can't stand to leave it not centered. But yeah, I've discovered that subs don't really fit very well on me. I don't have much of a knuckle right here, so it just digs which I recommend always trying on a watch before you buy it. I don't like to order. That's why I don't like to buy watches offline. I prefer to go to a dealer so I could try them on. This is another great story. I found this at a flea market for like $20, and it's a quartz, but it's one of their what do they call it again? Is yeah, the auto quartz. Yeah, it's a very beautiful watch. I mean, it needs to be serviced. It's not running now because I try to wind it and I can't get it running. So, and that, I mean, usually the capacitor in these eventually wears out and it needs to be replaced. And I need an extra link for it. It's too tight for me. If it wasn't, God, that is just such a nice looking watch. I mean, I couldn't pass that up for $20. Like, I mean, like I said, it's not running, but you know, I can get it serviced. You can always send these things off. I've sent many watches off to get serviced. I just, like I said, need to get that one done. Here's probably the most expensive. It is the most expensive watch in my collection. It's a Rolex Date. I bought this watch like 8 years ago, and I gave like $1,500 for it. Yeah, like the price of them now is astronomically ridiculous. Like, I'm probably gonna do a trade in, because I mean this is like a $5,000 watch now, and it's got like a little stretch to the bracelet. But I've been looking at those Tudor Royals in two-tone, and they're like around $3,000 some odd dollars for one. And I'm thinking about doing a trade in, because I mean, as nice as this watch is, it's got, you know, age. It's got plastic crystal. That's plastic. The water resistancy is questionable. I've had it serviced, so it runs great. It holds time beautifully, and it is a Rolex. But because you know, you always want, like, I don't know. For me, I always wanted a Rolex, and then after I've had one for so many years, I find that, you know, I don't really wear it that much. And you know, what's amazing is the size. This is a 34 millimeter. This is a 34. You know what I mean? Like, and you look at the size of it compared to some of these others. Like, this is a 40 right here. This is a 40, and that's a 34. So a lot of people are shy away from picking these up because of the size. And I'm telling you, man, they wear bigger than you think. I mean, if you have a smaller wrist, which I don't have a small wrist. I mean, I got a pretty good sized wrist. I think I have a 7.5-inch wrist. I think the last time I checked, I've gained some weight. Usually, and also depending on the weather, my wrists swell. But yeah, this is. I was very ecstatic to have that watch, and I can't believe I got it for that price, and then how much it's gone up. So that's still a thing. I'm gonna go probably take it down to the dealer and see what kind of trade-in they will do. But next up is another great watch, another Casio. Casios are amazing, especially these all-in-ones. These are basically the same thing, except this one has the time zones, but this is like a GMT basically. But this, I mean, it was solar, atomic, just as atomic. You know, you just can't beat them. Like, they're literally a set it and forget it. Like, perpetual calendar. You know, I mean, comfortable, super lightweight. Like, this is my work watch. You know, I wear this every day to work, and I don't care. I don't think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just always right. It's always right. This is an interesting piece that I found at a yard, or not a yard sale, but a flea market. This is a bull of it. I'm gonna let you zoom in here. I'm gonna let you get a good look at this. Look at this old bull of it. Now I see it's very small. It's a very small watch, but it's a mono case. Like, I was like, I don't know how you get into that, because I thought maybe you go in through the back. It's all stainless. It's an all stainless case, so it's not that pot metal. It's not that cheap stuff. So it's a Swiss made. So it's an older one, but check this out. Tell me if you've ever seen a bull. Look how thin this is. Like, look at this. Look how thin this is. And that's a mechanical. It's not an automatic as far as... Yeah, it's not an automatic. It's a mechanical. Listen. Beautiful. And the crown, the only problem I have with this so far is the crown comes off. If I pull it, the crown will completely come off. But it's still, I just pushed it and it pops back on, and I can wind it. You know, I just can't set the time on it. But I'm going to show you what this watch does that blew me away. Check this out. Is that not cool? Check that out. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a watch do this. And I mean, that's how you would get into the movement, which you can take the crystal off from here and it kind of like pops off. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to damage the hands and stuff. But yeah, you got to get it lined back up perfectly in that little, the thing with the bezel and I guess the bezel and the crystal line up. It's very... I'm just gonna set it over to the side so I can line it up, because like I said, you have to line the crown back up with it to get it to go back in good. So I'm gonna set it over there. But yeah, tell me if you've ever seen anything like that before, if you can identify that model. I haven't found anything online about it. It's very interesting. I've never seen anything like it. This is just a Seiko turtle. Everyone's seen these. I got this one back when they first came out. And I hated the bracelet, so I got one of those strap code bracelets and swapped it out. And it looks much better because I never got an SKX, but I got a turtle with a Jubilee bracelet. So I liked that look of a diver on Jubilee. Now over here, it needs a battery, but this is a Luminox, and I found this at a pawn shop. Listen to that bezel, very snappy. Yeah, I found this at a pawn shop for I think, I want to say like 80 bucks, 80, 90 bucks is what they wanted for it. It's a great bargain, great watch. This was my grandfather's watch until he passed away. Obviously no introduction. It's a Seiko Monster. It's the original Seiko Monster. It's the very first model. It is a pain in the ass because if you let it die, you have to sit there and just shake the crap out of it because you can't wind it. So I mean, you got to sit there and shake it for a while. You got to shake it for a while. You want to make sure you get it good and wound before you set the time. He found this at a flea market. And I think he actually traded his other watch to the guy for it. The watch he was wearing, I can't remember. It was a Seiko because my grandfather always wore Seikos, but I can't remember which model it was. But he was wearing a Seiko, and he loved this orange dial, which he was colorblind, which is interesting. Is that my grandfather, he's colorblind, and he really liked odd colors, orange, yellow. Stuff like, he would ask what color it was, because he didn't know. But like I said, he was colorblind, so he was always attracted to odd colors. And he said that to him looked more of a red or something. I can't remember exactly, but I'll always cherish that. I'll keep that. This is an interesting watch right here. This here is a San Martin, and I have seen all the hype about San Martins online, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna get a presidential style bracelet watch. I've always been a huge fan of the presidential style. You got that hidden clasp, and I mean, you got it says San Martin in there, and it's got the little tab that you pull to get it open. And this is incredible. This cost me like 300 bucks, and look at that mother of pearl. I mean, this thing is a showstopper. Like, I wore this to an AD, right? I wore this to, it was a tag, or not a tag. They had tag there, but it was the Omega and Breitling AD, and they couldn't get over, like, they was blown away at the quality of this watch. They'd never heard of San Martin, and I proudly told them, I was like, man, it's a Chinese watch brand. I was like, this is a $300 watch. And they were like, you're kidding me. I mean, if it blows them away, I mean, you could feel like in the bracelet, like that bracelet is amazing. the dial, the hands, the lume. It's great. Great. It's great. And like I said, I wear it all the time, and I don't care one bit about it. Like, I ain't worried something happens to it. Somebody wants to steal it off of me. But I mean, it looks like it looks like money. I mean, it's high quality. It's high quality, and it's some amazing stuff. The quality that they can get out of China for the price. And then here we have just a regular Casio, the old Duro. Not a bad bezel action. I like that bezel. It's a little big. I don't wear it too often. I used to wear it more out when I worked outside of my other job. The lume's not good. I'd like to. The biggest problem is it doesn't have a bracelet, and I haven't found any good aftermarket bracelets. I wish they would make one that fit in there good, not like leaving it open. Because I'm not a big fan of rubber straps, man. I don't like them. They make my wrists sweat. This was an interesting one. This is a Zero, and I'm sure they still have a website. But this was like, I got this about like 8-9 years ago. I got this thing because I just thought it was so cool. Lume isn't as good as I hoped it would be, because I was hoping the lume, because that's all loomed right there, and I was hoping it'd be like a lot better, but it's not. Like, it's decent lume. It's like a light blue, but I just thought it was really cool. And I mean, it does conform really well to the wrist. A lot of people thought it was some type of smartwatch. They thought that was a screen. Like, people like would touch it. They were like, "What time is it? What time is it?" Trying to wake it up, you know. And it's like, it don't wake up. It's just a watch. Just a basic quartz. I just thought it was cool. And this is the last one, and it's a was it a Woodsworth? What Woodsworth? Wadsworth. Yeah, so we got I don't know if that's one of the old stores back in the day. Wadsworth. And this was just another pickup at a flea market. I always like to look for old vintage. Listen to that line. Yeah, I always like to look for old vintage watches, and when I come across super cheap ones, like this one's on, what kind of strap is that? It's like a, can't remember. I think I've seen the name of it once before. It was like a, oh, there it is. A Wilson. Who knew Wilson made straps? Like the people that make sports stuff. Anyways, I mean, it's a nice little strap. I mean, it's kind of old. It's ancient. I don't know who put that on there. It's kind of more of a tropic strap, kind of, I would think. But yeah, I mean, it is another cheap watch that I had picked up over the years. So yeah, there we go. That's my collection. I hope you like it. If you like this content, leave a comment. Let me know. I can go in depth with some more of my collection, and I could go in depth about my plans for the future with this. If you have any ideas of what I should, what I could look into, I'm open to all suggestions. Or if you think I should keep it. If you're like, nah, man, you should keep that Rolex. Don't trade it in for a Tudor. I mean, I like Tudors, though. I'm not a Rolex snob. I love the two-tone. I wanted something gaudy. You know what I mean? Like, I have just always loved a good two-tone two-tone. Yeah, subs, date just. I always liked a good two-tone, And I don't want plated. I don't do plated. If it's not real, like, well, this is a vintage piece. It's plated. But, I mean, capped. I know the Royal is capped. A lot of it's capped. But that's fine with me, because that's real gold. It's capped over it. I can't do the fake PVD plating. I can tell fake gold from gold. It drives me insane. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to end it here. Peace out.